What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. And today we're going to be discussing the 3 secrets to scaling your gym to 7 figures. That's that magical, mythical mark that you want to hit. 7 figures. $1 million run rate, $1 million gym. Well, there are some secrets that you need to have in order to get to that level. So we're going to dive right into it today. So the first one first, and this is one of our biggest pet peeves. And guys, I got to tell you, we are working on this for you. We are working on this for our clients because this is needed in the fitness industry because no one knows this, which blows my mind because these are the most important things. So number one, the number one secret to scaling your gym to 7 figures is knowing your numbers.
100%. We were just talking about this the other day. So many gym owners have no idea. Like, we have buddies in the industry and we have clients in the industry that we talk to. And the first thing that we talk about is, okay, what does this rate look like and that rate look like? Your close rates and your attrition rate and all this stuff. And nobody has any idea. It's like everybody that gets into the gym industry is just flying blind. They're like, oh, I'm a good trainer, so my business should be good, right? I'm good at training people, so my business should function well. But they have no idea about business or numbers or even tracking them. Even guys that do decently well, it's like they never went through the process of understanding what the numbers look like, because I don't know why. I really don't know why. It always just kind of like boggles my mind, because even in certain coaching programs that you may have participated in, even the gurus in the industry, even the guys that are telling you how to run your gym and how to build it 7 figures, all they talk about is mindset and your morning routine and all these different things that you have to do with like psychology, when in reality it's like, no, it's a math equation. Business is a math equation. Like, when it comes down to it, it's dollars and cents, it's money, it's transactions, it's profit, right? So if you don't understand the numbers, then you can't make the changes. The numbers guide your decisions and guide what you focus on, right? And you don't know them, how are you going to even know that you're driving on the right path? It's like driving to a destination and not having GPS at all. A destination you have no idea where you're going, right? You could end up in Florida, you could end up in Texas, because you're just driving with no GPS at all.
Yeah, I mean, guys, we're I'm assuming everyone listening to this is a good coach. Would you teach people nutrition without giving them macros? Yeah, just eat healthy. What does that mean? What does eat healthy mean for everybody? It's different, right? For me, eating healthy means grilled chicken and asparagus. For somebody else, it may mean something totally different. And for me, it may mean 2 pieces of chicken. For Jimmy, it might mean 1. So what is that answer? No one even knows that answer. But this is the same thing with knowing your numbers in your business. So I went back and I was looking at my retention numbers last year. And we averaged last year 3.8% retention, meaning we kept 97% of clients, which boggles my mind because we talked about how that's impossible. And I did it and didn't even realize I was doing it because I didn't check. I didn't go back and check. So, and again, your business evolves over time, right? Things change. So I went back and looked, and my attrition rate's a little bit higher now. We're at like 7. I'm like, what the hell happened that allowed it to creep up so high? And there was one element that I did not add in, and for us, that's accountability calls. We stopped doing them because I just felt, again, I did something based on feeling. I felt they weren't doing anything. So interesting point is that, they typically say that accountability calls, for them to work, that about 25% of your client base is going to take it. So I said to my head staff, I said, listen, we're going to implement this again because we stopped doing it and attrition rates climbed up. So I think that's why. Well, we did it again. This is the first day we did it, was yesterday. 40% of our clients took the call, booked and took. That's a big percentage of our member base. So that tells us how important those calls are for our business. So again, but if I didn't know the numbers and look back and do the math and keep track of things, like Jimmy said, it is a math equation. If I didn't go back and do that, I'm just going by feel, and you can't run a business by feel. You just can't. It's unfortunate, but you can't. You just can't. I mean, we talked about this with the paid advertising strategy as well. Oh, I think my ad strategy is working. Well, do you think it's working? What's your lead cost? What's your conversion? What's your lifetime value? There's a lot of it's math. It really is math. And it's the kind of math that I like to do. And if you want to have a 7-figure gym, you gotta know those numbers in and out. The best gyms know those numbers. And
Yep.
I think also another thing that I want to add in there quick is you have to look at them on a daily basis. You can't, not. You can't now. You can't look at them once a month. You got to look at them regularly, if not weekly. Look at them, but you got to look at some type of numbers in your business to have a pulse to what's happening.
At least weekly. I mean, weekly is a pretty good time frame to look at it and go, okay, what do my numbers look like? What's the trend line? Where are we going? Where are we headed? Right. And all these numbers will tell you where you're headed, right? Your attrition rate will tell you where you're headed based upon your acquisition rate, right? If you're acquiring less people than you're losing, you're headed for disaster. If you're acquiring more people than you're losing, you're on pace. Or if you're on pace for a certain metric that you want to hit, a certain cash value you want to hit by the end of the year, right? These things are going to guide your decisions and guide what you focus on. So you have to look at them weekly, and you can take it even a step further in understanding your numbers by not looking at it from a perspective of, this is my goal that I need to hit, right? And you're so focused on this, oh, I need to hit this goal, I need to hit this goal. On the end of it, you want to think about it from the beginning, right? And this is kind of a paradigm shift in your brain. But you go, okay, if I want to make X amount per month, I can look at what my close rate looks like, what my show rate looks like, what my book rate looks like, what my contact rate looks like, and then how many leads I need to get to that end goal, right? So when we look at a week and we go, okay, I look at my week as a whole, and our goal is to have 10 to 15 appointments booked every week, because we know a certain amount of people are going to no-show, this and that. But if we have 10 to 15 appointments booked every week, we know that we're growing, right? Because we know we're beating attrition by a huge margin if we get to that point. And you backtrack that all the way to, this is how many leads I need, and these are the activities my staff needs to be participating in to get there. So these are the things you focus on the front, because then it just trickles down through the whole system. You don't just focus on the end and go, how do I make this happen? You know how it happens. If you know your numbers, you know how to make it happen. So you start with leads, and then you look at activity. And if your percentages are not where they need to go or need to be, then you look at the activity of your staff and the activity of yourself to change those numbers as you go. That's what helps you get there. That's what makes sure you have a profitable gym. You have, one of the best gyms, as Anthony said, the best gym owners in the nation know their numbers through and through. The best businesses in the world know their numbers through and through. And that's why giant companies like Pepsi can spend millions of dollars on a Super Bowl advertisement, because they know that advertisement is going to get more of the market share. They've done the math, right? We're not big like that. But if we know our numbers well enough, we know how much we can spend to acquire a client, and we know within a couple grand how that year is going to turn out and how each month is going to turn out. You know, when the month starts, you go, okay, I'm probably making this, because you know your attrition rate, you know your acquisition rate, you know what all these numbers look like. And it really makes things a lot more simple and makes things a lot more stress-free when you know your numbers. But you got to do the due diligence to do the math.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. Number 2, the second secret is having a good team. This one is underrated. Having a good team, and I heard this. Oh, where did I hear this? I heard this yesterday. Um, oh man, I can't remember where I heard it. But basically, what they were saying was, if you want, I can't think of how it was worded, but basically, it was saying like, if you want a good team and someone to take care of your clients, you have to pay them. I forgot the quote. It was like a quote, and I couldn't agree with that more. If you want a good team, you have to invest in your team, and if you want good quality trainers, you have to pay industry standards or more. It's just the way it works in order to have good people at your facility. But a good team is going to take care of your clients. And if the clients feel taken care of, then they're going to stay. And if the client stays, you're going to make more profit. So having a good team is really, really beneficial and important to scaling to seven figures.
Huge. I mean, and one of the caveats with this, guys, is you may be new to the industry, you may have just started your gym, and you think you need the best trainers around. That's not necessarily the case. You need the best people. You need people that care. You need good people in your corner, right? It doesn't matter if they have advanced education, if they have a laundry list of clients in which they've gotten great results with, if they can recite, the Netter anatomy book back and forth, or talk to you about complicated biomechanics in regards to, the arthrokinematics of the shoulder girdle and how it articulates and all this stuff, right? But the thorax, you don't need to have somebody in your facility that knows all of that stuff, because in all reality, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, because if they know all those things and they're a great trainer, but they're not a great person, your clients aren't going to want to be around them. They need to be likable. They need to joke around with your clients. They need to be somebody that is charismatic. They need to be somebody that can influence your clients in a positive way, right? Those are the kinds of people that you want, and can push them, right? That's the kind of person that you want, because their training skills can be learned. But if you're an asshole, you can't learn to not be one. You as a business owner are not going to teach somebody who has a bad attitude to have a good attitude. It's their personality. So personality fit is number one to build that team that's going to get you to where you want to go.
Yeah, agreed. And again, like Jimmy said, it could be taught, so I was out to eat one day, and it didn't end up working out, but it was a really cool story I could tell. I was out to eat one day, and the waiter was just really good. He was a really, really good waiter. So I was talking to him, and I'm like, "Hey man, look, I own a gym, personal training gym. Are you looking for another job? Something on the side. I think you'd be great." And he goes, "Funny you said that. I lost a lot of weight." He was like 300 pounds, and now he's like 180 or whatever. So I'm like, "Oh, cool, man. So let's sit down. Let's talk about it." So he took my number. We spoke. It didn't end up working out because I think then I don't know, he was kind of all over the place with what he wanted to do. But I asked because he had a great personality, and you could always teach the people the X's and the O's. That's the easy part. It's you can't teach people how to be a people person. You just can't. All right. And number three, and we talked about this so many times, is we're going back to the fishing boat. You gotta have multiple poles in the water for client acquisition. It's not one thing. You can't just rely on referrals. You can't rely on your website or people picking up the phone to call you. It's got to be multiple things. I would say 3 to 5 good poles in the water to get clients with really good bait is going to be the thing that's going to take your business to that 7-figure mark. You need to have a good website, and we talked all about that. You can go back and listen to past episodes. You got to have a good referral system and strategy to get clients in there, meaning you have to have good trainers and good business to push that, right? So referrals, I said website referrals, and a paid acquisition strategy for sure. Has to be one of those ways that you are able to put money in and get money out.
100%. I mean, if you don't have those poles in the water, all those poles, you're not getting to where you want to get to. A lot of people will want to rely on one pole. and just put all their eggs in that basket. But one thing that I've realized over the course of my business is it's not one pole. It's all the poles working synergistically to get you to where you want to go. Because you're going to get X amount of leads from one source and X amount of leads from another source and another source and this and that, right? And so if you're just relying on digital advertising and that's all you do, but you don't have a referral strategy that backs it up to get those people that you got from digital to refer their friends in, you're missing out on money there. If you don't develop relationships with other businesses in your town, then you're not getting goodwill and engendering goodwill from the community, and you're not known as a provider that is quality, right? One of our lead sources, though it's not a huge lead source, is physical therapy clinics and surgeons will refer people to us because they know that we're going to take care of their patients in a way where they're not going to get hurt again, right? So they know that we're going to guide them through the process and help them actually recover, as opposed to other trainers in the city that they may not trust, right? So you have to look and stack these things on top of each other to actually get to the point where you want to get to. It's not just one silver bullet that's going to grow your business. It's literally having all these levers to pull at all times and building a system around each one of these to make them work at all times in your business. That's how you grow.
Exactly. And guys, if you want help with any of this, like Jimmy said, having the systems around it, you could pick up one of the systems that we use right in that link below, where we guarantee you to get 10 clients, 7 days, 0 ad spend. Click that link below, you can get that. But yeah, that's how you do it. Those are the 3 secrets. So again, you want to get to 7 figures, know your numbers. Every time, know those numbers, know everything about your business, the way everything functions. Have a good team. Invest in your team. Spend time with them. If you're dwindling your hours from the floor, meaning you're not training as many clients, you got to put those amount of hours back into developing your team, because it's just going to expedite this whole process. And the third thing is you got to have multiple poles in the water. All right, guys. Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier. We are out.